Welcome, welcome indeed to the second Happy Tunes video. And we can start this video off fairly conventionally with the step that comes before the baby is born, as was with Wagner and Cosima, and that's when two people fall in love. No two people ever fell more in love than did Robert Schumann and Clara van Wyk. And when they eventually were able to marry, wonderful love songs poured from both composers, many of them. Among the most exultant of them is Widmung, Dedication, from Robert's song cycle Myrten of 1840. That was the year in which he married Clara on the 12th of September. I'm going to read a translation of the words. You, my soul, my heart, my rapture, my pain, the world in which I live, my heaven to which I aspire, my grave into which my grief forever I've consigned. You are repose, you are peace, you are bestowed on me from heaven. Your love for me gives me my worth. Your eyes transfigure me in mine. You raise me lovingly above myself, my guardian angel, my better self. We've all felt it, haven't we? And it even made it difficult for me to say the word bestowed. There it is. Good. So the song is sung in a moment by Nathalie Stutzmann with Michael D'Alberto at the piano, but we will then follow that with Franz Liszt's transcription of the same song, which is very effective, an extended version of the song, an exciting, expressive piece, fully capturing the exultance of the original. So the song first, Nathalie Stutzmann and Michael D'Alberto, followed by Evgeny Kissin playing his Liszt's transcription at a public recital in Carnegie Hall. Here we go. Now we're going to move in a very unexpected direction. Though the suggestion of happy tunes was all I received initially, much later on in conversation, someone expressed an interest in gypsy music, and though there is often an undertone of melancholy in such music, here is the Russian band Loyko, two gypsy fiddlers and a classically trained guitar player, who have for more than 30 years been based in Dublin. I think their exuberance falls into the category of happy, so they're going to do. I heard them at the Edinburgh Festival many, many years ago. They have a huge stage presence and the two fiddlers can make their violins talk. They really can, as you'll hear. So they're going to play two pieces, but first I have to prepare myself for this by putting on my French hat, which I don't get to wear very often, so any excuse will do, and my sunglasses since it's a very sunny day. They're irrelevant to the music, but that doesn't matter. So as I say, Shara is the first piece, Oleg wrote it in Kilkenny, and the second piece is their signature piece, Gambrinus. So here we are, Loyko, the Russian band of talking fiddlers. exuberance of Loyko. I've got rid of my hat and my sunglasses because they're no longer appropriate, I think, and I'm going to get rid of the big flowers, which I almost forgot from Loyko, but there they go. Now, the next piece is unique. Unique means there is nothing else like it, although people sometimes say it's quite unique, which doesn't make sense really. But this is unique. If you know it, you'll know what's going on. If you don't know it, you'll find it, I think, puzzling. What I'd like to do is play a bit of it, maybe 3 minutes, and then stop it, and then tell you what story lies behind it. And then I'll play the opening again and some more. The piece is by Gavin Bryars, a modern minimalist composer, and it's called Jesus' Blood Has Never Failed Me Yet. And that is all I'm going to tell you for now, except that it starts very, very quietly. Nothing appears to be happening for a little while, and when it does happen, it's barely audible, and that is how it's meant to be. So here we go, the opening of Jesus' Blood Has Never Failed Me Yet by Gavin Bryars.
Never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for He loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for He loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for He loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for He loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for He loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for he loved me so. Jesus Christ never found me yet. He never found me yet.
Yes, if you've not heard that before, you'll be wondering what's going on, and no surprise in that. That is a tape of an old homeless man who was recorded outside the Elephant and Castle in 1975 for a television programme, though in fact he never appeared on it. Gavin Bryars was given the tape and put it into a loop. He took it back to the studio in which he was working. He put it into a loop and he played it, and he played some chords on the piano underneath it because he thought it had a certain potential. Then he went downstairs for a cup of coffee. Now, that was a complex of studios. There were many studios. Some were visual arts, some were music, some were other things. When he came back from his cup of coffee, the corridor was surprisingly quiet. Normally it was quite a noisy place. Opposite his studio, there was a visual arts studio with quite a number of young artists, and he looked through the door and he saw that they'd all stopped working, and some of them were crying. And that was because they had heard the tape, which was still playing a loop. So that's an old homeless man expressing an innocent and very poignant faith at a point in his life when things are really pretty desperate. Well, Gavin Bryars worked it up into a piece which lasted 26 minutes. It was released on record in 1975 and it was enormously successful. It's been heard by millions of people. And it has been performed again and again and again. Eventually the American singer Tom Waits got involved in one of the versions of it. Every year in St Martin's in the Fields in London, the names of the homeless who have died on the streets in the previous year are read out, and then that piece is again performed with the old man singing his little song over and over and over again. Now, of course, it just was that we'd eventually, I think, feel that we'd heard enough of it, but it's just about to change. And in fact, I changed my mind when I was playing this. I thought we'll not go back to the beginning, but it's too long. We'll just take it from the point where Gavin Bryars intervenes and adds something to the music. So you can see what you think of it. Oh, and by the way, though many attempts have been made to find out who the old man was, his name has never been discovered. On we go.
Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for he loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for he loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for he loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for he loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found me yet. Jesus' blood never found me yet. This one thing I know, for he loved me so. Jesus' blood never found me yet. Never found never found me, yes, never found me, yes, that never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only love Jesus, God never found me, yes, never found me, yes, Jesus, never found me, yes, this one thing I know, only God.
That's not the end. There's about 15 minutes to go. The orchestral support grows and grows and grows. The old man is always audible, but only just eventually. Is that a happy song? No, perhaps not happy, but positive. If you think about his situation and the fact that he sings with such faith and confidence, there's something I think very poignant in that. And they interviewed him. He was the only one who it taped who was not drunk. He was not an alcoholic, and he was a very religious man. And he spoke to the people who were making the recordings at some length about his faith. So there it is, a unique piece. For me, very surprisingly, I think, if you listen to the long version, and there are shorter versions, if you listen to the long version, 26 minutes, it just builds and builds and builds, and somehow in its hypnotic, slow changes, it works. But I really don't want, I shouldn't talk about what I think. I wanted it to be on show, and it has been. And with that, we have the end of our second video. And the third one will be a bit more usual.